tonight, Monday, June 8th. Legislative session to order at 5:30 p.m. We could all please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, republic for which it stands, one nation, under. All right, thank you, everyone. And I would like to remind our council members about our shared beliefs of being open and honest this evening, and that'll lead us directly into roll call.
Mr. Bowman,
Present.
Mr. Perry,
Present.
Mr. Beinecker,
Here.
Mr. Malay,
Present.
Ms. Martin,
Present.
Mr. Campbell,
Present.
Mr. Camacho.
Present.
Let the record show the following staff are in attendance: City Manager Albert Tripp, City Attorney Dan Gibbons, Public Works Director Catherine Miller, Planning Director Heather Troutman, Police Chief Brad Richmond, Lieutenant Jake Keith, Corporal Adam Johnson, Executive Administrative Assistant Amanda Swanstrom, Accountant Diana Meal, and Assistant Clerk Treasurer Tanya Dashiell.
Right, thank you for that. Tonight, we do not have any changes to the agenda. Council, what would you like to do about the approval?
Move to approve.
Have a motion, do I have a second? Have a second? Any questions or comments on the agenda? Not seeing any. All those in favor? All right, that passed unanimously. That'll move us on to council reports.
I just have a few things from, we had a finance committee meeting first of the year last Wednesday. Pretty productive, some bullet point highlights from my end. To give some kudos, the Recreation Center as of May was at 95% cost recovery, which is pretty incredible if you look at municipalities nationwide. So that was a great highlight. Things for consideration, we discussed the ongoing issue with our decreased budget in our parks watering and the trees and some of the health of the trees dying, things like that. Push forward a couple options to be presented to us in the upcoming future. Well, one good thing, once the reclaimed water hits 3 of our parks coming up, that'll adjust that budget moving forward. But in the short term, looking at potentially subsidizing if we want to save those trees and have them replaced. There's, I think, some 50 odd that are in poor health or dead, or look at xeriscaping options or a combination of both. So things hopefully we can get addressed. And then I'll put forward my my opinion to move forward with a proposed study again from the FCS group to look at adjusting our water rates for 2026, potentially to expanding the different classes and rate categories as expressed in the past. And then looking forward to our after Q2 tax collected revenue versus projections. But that was the main highlights for me from the Finance Committee meeting.
Thank you. Any other comments from council? Okay, I'm not seeing any. Yeah, if we could just at some point bring those items up to the agenda and actually have a good discussion on them, especially during one of our study sessions, to kind of, especially getting the remainder of the council who just came on board and whatnot, and getting you guys kind of schooled up and the history, the education kind of behind what we've done and why we've done it, especially with the rate study and whatnot with the city. So yeah, if we could do that, that'd be great. And I don't have anything, so that'll move us on to staff reports.
Mr. Tripp?
Just one item to highlight, I mentioned it already in my weekly report, that being we've been working with the City of Medical Lake and City of Cheney on a potential interlocal agreement for court services. Cheney's a little bit further out, and that might not come to fruition until 2026, which is when they're due to switch over from Spokane County. But Medical Lake, there's been progress made on it, and we are preparing to present the council a proposal on next Monday.
Mr. Gibbons?
No report. Thank you.
Ms. Miller? Ms. Troutman?
I just wanted to report, we've been working internally with the various departments, looking at our permit system. As you recall, last year, we were required to substantially update our permit process based on several legislative actions to include essentially time tracking for a variety of permits and decisions. And we have put together a request for proposals that was issued today for a new permit system for the city of Airway Heights. So we'll be looking forward to receiving proposals, eventually bringing this to a committee, identifying a couple of them for interviews and demonstration of their project and final selection of a new permit system. So it's our hope that we will be able to achieve many of the goals we've been discussing for the last several years, which includes online application, online payment, as well as online tracking of permits and a more fluid paperless process for sharing documents, editing documents, as well as being able to track our permit requirements under these new state laws. Are there any questions?
Oh, thank you guys for working so hard on that. I know it's been a long time coming and we've been working to automate the system for years now. So thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Chief Richmond.
Oh, yeah. Good evening, Mr. Chair and Council. Just proud to announce a new member to our team, Amanda Swanstrom. Joined us today as our new incoming executive administrative assistant and public record custodian at the Airway Heights Police Department. I'll let her come up and introduce herself real quick to you. I'm sure she doesn't want to do that, but we're going to give her that opportunity.
Oh, welcome to the team.
That's in the report. Thank you.
Lieutenant Keith.
No report today. Thank you.
Nice going, Jake.
Corporal Johnson. Ms. Neal. And I do not have a report.
All right, thank you. I don't see any calls for a public hearing, so that moves us into the consent agenda. Item A is the approval of city council minutes from June 2nd. Item B is the study session meeting minutes for June 9th. And then item C is the purchase approval registry, requesting approval for the purchase approval registry in the amount of $30,287.99 to Payne Hamlin. Council, what would we like to do about tonight's consent agenda?
Move to approve the consent agenda.
I have a motion. Do I have a second? All right, I have a second. Any questions or comments on the consent agenda? Not seeing any. All those in favor? All right, that passed unanimously. That moves us on to our action items. Item D is 6th Avenue change order number 4 for DW excavation. Ma'am, the floor is all yours.
Thank you, Chair and council members. This was briefed last week at the study session. It is a change order on the DW contract to include the continuation of the reclaimed water project to go out to the parks. That would be the Aspen Grove Park, Cleveland Park, and Traditions Park. Is there any questions on this one?
No? Council, what would you like to do about item D?
Move to approve.
I have a motion. Do I have a second? I have a second. Any questions or comments? Not seeing any. All those in favor? All right, that passed unanimously. That'll move us on to item E, which is Century West, which is also work order number 1. And then again, the floor is all yours.
Thank you, Chair. This is a companion project actually with item number D. It is the construction management cost to continuation with that project in terms of the work that Century West has been doing. Will continue under, again, getting the water lines to the parks. Any questions?
And then how much was this one for?
That was an $84,000
Okay.
change order for the administration of that oversight.
Okay, all right, well, thank you. Council, what would we like to do about item E?
Move to approve.
I have a motion. Do I have a second? I have a second. Any questions or comments? Not seeing any. All those in favor? All right, that passed unanimously. Move to item F, proposed scope and budget for greenhouse gas and vehicle miles sub-element. Ms. Troutman, the floor is all yours.
Well, thank you very much. This was briefed last week as well for the city council, and this is a continuing series of briefings on work required under RCW 3670A, which has to do with Growth Management Act. This has to do with new requirements with regards to addressing climate resiliency. There are two parts of that. The first part of the work we have completed. We'll be having final deliverables submitted to the Department of Commerce, and that was for climate planning. That was identifying potential climate hazards. Quick, who can remember one? Heat.
The drought.
Increasing number of days over
Fire.
80 degrees. So that project is wrapping up with the requisite analysis of hazards, vulnerabilities, action statements, and goals and policies. That bill actually had a second part, which has to do with also dealing with greenhouse gas emission reduction and vehicle miles traveled reductions. And these have to do with lowering potential future emissions for business and, excuse me, trips that are generated in our community. We did do a request for proposals in 2024 for the full scope of the two parts of the state requirement, but due to grant funding from the Department of Commerce, we limited the contract with our selected firm, Sustainable Solutions Group, only for the first part of the project. We are expecting to receive funding from the state to cover 100% of the second part of the project for the greenhouse gas emissions and vehicle miles traveled. What is attached in your packet is the scope of work for SSG, so it would be an amendment to that agreement to continue the work and complete the requirements of the state funded by the state of Washington. Are there any questions with regards to this contract with SSG to complete that work? We also have a budget and timeline included in the packet for your consideration.
All right, thank you. For item F, council, what would we like to do?
Move to approve.
I have a motion. Do I have a second? I have a second. Any questions or comments? Not seeing any. All those in favor of item F? That too passed unanimously. That'll move us on to item G, which is the 2025 to 2027 Climate Planning Grant. Ms. Troutman, the floor is yours once again.
Thank you. This is the accompanying grant for the aforementioned contract from the Department of Commerce for 100% of the cost of this project. And that includes public engagement as well as completing assessment of our needs with regards to how to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and vehicle miles traveled. It would also include goals, policies, and strategies, and it would include methodologies for us to track because under these new requirements for growth management, we are required 5 years after the passage of the plan in 2026 to report on whether our methodologies succeeded in reducing greenhouse gas and vehicle miles traveled. So we, since we applied for this grant in 2023, this is just a paperwork activity with the Department of Commerce for a contract for, again, the second installment of funding for this project. And again, it's 100% grant funded. And this time we've reserved some funding for the city to recoup some of our costs in processing the materials around the project.
All right, thank you, Ms. Troutman. Would anybody like to bring a motion forward for item G?
Move to approve.
I have a motion. Do I have a second? I have a second. Any questions or comments on item G? Not seeing any. All those in favor? That passed unanimously.
Thank you.
Ordinance, we have item H, which is going to be the first reading of C-1095, unauthorized camping on public property. There's no action that's going to be taken tonight. We will bring it back at a later date for a second reading. So at that point, would you like to read it into the record?
Ordinance C-1095, an ordinance of the City of Airway Heights, Washington, creating a new chapter 8.09 of the Airway Heights Municipal Code entitled Unauthorized Camping on Public Property and Other Matters Properly Related thereto.
All right, and then Chief, would you like to brief on this one?
Yes, council, what briefs you on the study session on the 9th? Basically, the agenda, the ordinance defines camping and camping materials, prohibits sleeping on sidewalk, streets, alleys, and doorways, prohibits camping on city property, procedures on removing campsites occupied and unoccupied, procedures on how to clean up the store, personal property, when to expedite a camp removal, and then the penalties associated with that, which will go through our community court and our therapeutic court to try to help those people in need transition to transitional housing if we can.
All right, awesome. Thank you, Chief. Any questions on this ordinance? Go ahead.
Yeah, I have a question, Chief. The verbiage, the wording in section 8.
Mike.
Hearing aids make me really loud. So
It's a test.
I think I'm projecting. Chief, in sections 8.09.040 and repeated basically backwards, 8.09.030. The wording about insurance required for events. And that looks like it's either you do it or you don't do it. I'm wondering if there's any wiggle room in there, or if the wording could be modified, or if there's an authority that could maybe waive that requirement if and or the sponsor is responsible enough to make that a mandate. Or I guess a technical question.
I'll have to look at the language. I only brought the mini packet tonight, so I don't have the text of the entire of everything that's on the agenda in front of me. But this is a first reading, and we can Chief Richmond and I can discuss that and report back to you next time, or at the next study session, or at the next legislative session.
Said that was 8.09.030.
Yes. And 040. It's basically the same paragraph repeated.
So what are you proposing on that instead?
Just wondering if there's room or need have an option. And I'm not even clear, honestly, who the approving it could opt to waive that insurance requirement. Oh, essentially, that's the only.
Just the insurance requirement? Yeah. Go ahead, Mr. Tripp.
Just a clarifying question, Councilmember Campbell, your question's coming from the perspective of perhaps maybe like a nonprofit, almost like a scouting scenario, something of that, some type of use of that as opposed to a nuisance use, I'm presuming. Okay, we can look at it from that perspective and reply back.
No, I think that's fair. Definitely. All right, so I assume we'll bring this back the next legislative session in July.
Correct, or we can bring the update regarding this question as early as Monday study session.
A study session. Okay. Yeah, that's if we could do that, that'd be great. All right. Thank you. No call for any resolutions. I do have one citizen comment signed up. And actually, thank you for bringing that up, because we actually used to have a sign up sheet that we would check every single week. So if we could re-implement the sign up sheet, so that way we can check it every single time, make sure that each resident has the ability to sign up, but also that kind of brings up a question too. How do we extend that to those online? Just to make sure that everybody, gets a fair shake and yeah, and can do that. So if there's anybody online who would like to also bring something forward to council, then we will allow you guys to do that. If you could please raise your hand. But for tonight, I see that we do have one comment that is signed up. I will allow Rich, if you could please come forward, state your full name, your address. And then typically we like to keep items to those that are on the council agenda, but I will also allow for a couple minutes. So if we can keep it to within that 2 or 3 minute range, I'd appreciate it. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you, Mr. Chair. and council members. I'm here tonight to address, I want to first say, I want to thank Corporal Johnson and Nicole from Code Enforcement. My name is Rich. I live at 13919 West 12th Avenue, Airway Heights in Rainbow Trailer Park. Along with myself and the park manager and the owner, we're trying to get it more cleaned up. As you guys are aware, they've been in the city for a while. It was a crap hole once upon a time. It's cleaning up. So park manager and I have been working with Nicole and Corporal Johnson, getting it more cleaned up. Portion of the roadway on 12th Street is dirt road, which we all know. There's one speed limit sign from the library and the current fire department westward on 12th Street going to Craig Road, 125-mile-an-hour sign. It's it coming eastbound just outside the park. We get a lot of speeders down through there. We've asked, people, residents have sent in requests to the police department to monitor that area. I've talked with Corporal Johnson about it. He's said he's passed along. We're not, and speeders are still going strong down that road. Last Tuesday, I did not call crime check because I've worked with Corporal Johnson. I contacted him personally, asked him to come by. We had a resident, her two babies are outside next to the roadway, with speeders being down that road. She had to go chase her dogs, more important than her children were. So Corporal Johnson addressed that issue. But now what I'm asking the council is, I've talked with Heather at the building department. She sent me to Public Works. Can we raise it? Can we lower that speed limit in that portion of the roadway to 5 miles an hour because of the elderly people and the kids in the park? They're speeding down there. I'm not getting police response down there to stop speeders. So can we reduce the speed limit to help Airway Heights PD, maybe with more traffic down there, more tickets for them, more revenue for the city? That's all I have to say tonight.
Okay, well, thank you, Rich, for bringing that to our attention. So one of the biggest problems that we have in the city is if they're not going to abide by a speed sign, what's going to put in another one out they're going to do? So we do have some traffic mitigation things that we have looked at in the past, and I would like to explore those options with the group that lives over there to kind of see, hey, what do we collectively see as a good fit for the area? I mean, if that also includes lowering the speed limit and then other mitigation factors, absolutely. We would love to see what we could do. So let's come up with a game plan. Let's continue the conversation going. Would that work for you?
Yeah, by all means, if we can work together, the residents of the trailer park, the police department and city council, let's get this lowered down. Let's get these speeders stopped. I don't want to see, I'm a senior citizen. I'm retired. I've got a lot of senior citizens in the park, a lot of kids in the park. I mean, not a lot, but there's kids in the park. What's it going to take for a child to get hit by one of those speeders? Then I got to call the police department and say, hey, hit and run on a child. I don't make that phone call. I don't want to see that happen. I have grandchildren live in that park.
Absolutely.
So, if we can work together, and Corporal Johnson, I'll continue to work on it. But if we can get a cop car down there soon, they can sit in my driveway. There's places they can sit where they won't be detected. They can run a radar and start stopping these cars. I think we stop 2 or 3, the word will get put out and they'll start slowing down.
Okay. Yeah, if we could continue to working, okay, thank you, Corporal Johnson. And yeah, Heather, if we could come up with a game plan potentially for, some traffic mitigation around that area. Because I know it's a problem, and usually the potholes down there would deter them enough.
Well, the city,
For what? Because I used to go down there quite often too. I wouldn't speed though.
Public Works has been doing a great job of keeping
Yeah.
potholes gone. I spoke with Heather last week because I got sent to her first, and she sent me to Public Works. I talked to Wendy about the issue of getting
Yeah.
the speed limit lowered down, and she said, "Got to come to city council." So
Okay.
here I am.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Let's come up with a game plan, see what the best decision is going to be, and let's implement it.
And then another thing I want to ask is that portion of the roadway, this dirt, does that belong to the city? Does it belong to the park owner? Is it just an easement for the city to go through?
Yeah,
We don't know. We don't have the answer to that question. We need to know.
it's public. Yeah.
Okay, if it's public, then let's get it paid.
Yeah, I know. And paving's expensive too. So, but absolutely. I mean, we have a lot of infrastructure projects which people know are occurring right now, but yeah, definitely. Let's see where we can work into the game plan to do that. Cause I know that there's also grant opportunities out there too for kind of the safe streets and whatnot as well. So
I don't know.
we will explore every option.
I get you. I don't know if I need to come to you guys or to the chief, but I think Corporal Johnson needs a promotion up one.
I don't think he wants one.
We don't, but as a resident of the city and everything he's done, he needs that promotion. I'm sure of it. He's a great guy.
No, absolutely. No, that's a great attaboy. So, Rich, thank you so much for coming. We absolutely want to work with you guys down there and see what we can do to reduce the issues. I mean, I doubt that we'll ever be able to stop everybody. I mean, look at the projects, the extent that we're going to on Sixth Avenue just to reduce what people called Highway 6. So we're trying, and it's getting there.
We holler at the speeders
Yeah.
and court, they're booking their fourth right of free speech, but
Yeah.
we're getting the finger, we're getting curse words. And it's like, come on, it's common sense.
Yeah,
You know?
it should be.
You would-
It should be.
that's gone along the Wayside.
Sense doesn't come too common these days, I don't think. But yeah, we appreciate it and we'll continue to work with you. Yeah, please keep in contact with our department heads and Corporal Johnson. We'll see what we can do. All right, absolutely. I don't see any call for any workshops. No call. Go ahead, sir.
This question is for our Public Works Director. Can we get an update maybe next Monday on where we're at with the code compliance? I'm kind of curious to find out what we're doing or what has been done, just kind of an update. I haven't heard anything much, like
Is that a? Go.
That's a Heather.
either however you want to divide it, I don't care.
Yeah, we can come in a briefing. We've got everything.
Okay.
We're keeping it in the system as far as tracking. So whatever you'd like to know, cases closed, where we are with various cases, et cetera.
Well,
Absolutely.
a number of things were brought to our attention and I'm kind of wondering where we're at with all those.
Especially on the business side, right?
Yeah, that's the most interesting one.
The
Yeah.
illegal businesses that are operating, or not illegal, I should say,
It was
but
businesses operating in the city that
don't have any.
either city business license or even state business license.
But you know,
Okay.
we don't necessarily next Monday have to do a deep dive into it, but I'd like to at least get some understanding of where we're at.
Bring your floaty unicorn.
You want to do the 30,000 foot view?
Whatever she wants to
Good
do.
general
I
overview.
just kind of, I
Okay.
got some concerns about it. I kind of want to know more.
Something better than silence.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I apologize. We can
Is-
certainly give you updates as regularly as you like.
That's what it's been 2 months or so. We got an update and then nothing else has happened. So
Well, we also had the new hire and then we have,
Yes, we have a new hire. She's been with us for about 3 weeks, but we've made progress on all of the cases in the meantime, but we'll be happy to do that and bring
Okay.
regular updates if you'd like.
yeah, because that was the last thing that we heard was the new hire was coming on board, but I know that the current officer was staying over to help train and get her up to speed. So yeah, definitely getting an update on her progress and how everything's going would be great.
Absolutely. And it's been going fantastic. The partnership with the police and the other departments has been really going well. And as the last speaker indicated that they partnered up and they've been doing a lot of sites together. So I'll be happy to do that.
All right, does anybody else have anything? Not seeing anything, no call for workshop or executive sessions. We will adjourn at 5:58. Thank you.